Light FM. Sting and the police there. Good morning. I am Morning Dave. Appreciate you being here. It's 8:40 now, 20 before 9.
Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation.
And the legal beagle means it's time for us to double check and see with Philip Statler from Statler Financial Services what his take is on what was really a crummy day yesterday on Wall Street. Philip, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing well today, other than I had to wear a jacket again. I mean, 2 days in a row having to wear a jacket. That's, not the best.
You know, at the beginning of this year, I kind of figured, well, I got 2 turtlenecks. That'll last me the rest of my life. I've had them for 30 years, and I never wear them in Florida. About midway through January, I said, okay, that's it. I ordered 3 more in so I could rotate through them. And I'm living in clothes that I never thought I'd wear again. This winter doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon, does it?
It doesn't. Hopefully by the end of this week, maybe we'll be back to normal.
Oh, you didn't hear about the cold front this weekend, huh?
No, I guess not. It's like, okay, really?
You don't want to hear about the cold front this weekend. Yeah, we got a chance of rain on Friday and Saturday. The day yesterday was just one of those perfect storms. I mean, I'm ill inclined to ever call any day a bloodbath, but this one might very well be. Dow ended up closing down 822 points. S&P 500 was down by 72. NASDAQ down by 258. The Dow was the loser of the bunch, down 1.66%, but the Russell 2000 did its level best to catch up, and it was down 1.6%. Yeah, I think when everybody's over a full percentage point down in one day, I don't think bloodbath would be overstating it, do you?
No, it was definitely a rough day on Wall Street yesterday. We started out a little bit to the green and quickly fell to red, and that red continued to increase throughout the day.
Oh, it was terrible. It was kind of a perfect storm. Step number 1, we got the herky-jerkies on the tariffs. The Supreme Court on Friday knocks down President Trump's emergency tariff powers, which means Trump's response, well, that's fine. I'm just going to put 10% on everybody. Then the next day he changed his mind, said, I think we're going to do 15% on everybody. And the market opened up on Monday with the rumor mill that we're going to have a whole pile of lawsuits from companies wanting to get refunds on the tariffs that they paid under those unconstitutional emergency powers. And just everything went to crud. Add on the fact that Big Pharma had a bad day with Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, and we're still worried about software companies. And our dear friend, Mr. Goolsbee, the Fed governor, said that in a rubber chicken speech that we shouldn't even think about lowering interest rates again until we see some actual progress in inflation. Can you think of any one thing you can do that would add more negative reinforcement onto a market than those 4 or 5 factors?
I think we can see the results of what happens when we get that kind of news all in one day.
Poopy would be a really good response to it. It needs to be mentioned about about Big Pharma. We can get to it into the reports themselves, but there's a little bit of a war going on those GLP-1 drugs for weight loss. Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly are having a little bit of a price war. Novo Nordisk is cutting their price way back, and that means Lilly's doing the same thing. And both of them are scared to death of the compounding pharmacies' generic versions of the same darn drugs. That kind of, the current hot drug, that kind of cuts the legs out of the growth in an entire industry, doesn't it?
Yeah, it will definitely do that. Yeah, I saw somebody, and they weren't going to lower the price though until next year. I mean, that's, I know forward-looking earnings it's going to affect, but I can't remember which pharmaceutical it was, but they weren't going to make any change. The price changes were going to be cut in half starting next year.
Which means some governor somewhere is going to say, "No, you're going to do it right now." Maybe ours, since we've been doing it as well around here. I'm almost grateful we did it to Eloquist now that I'm on that stuff. The tariff uncertainty keeps going on in the process, and I have not seen anybody throwing out the likelihood of this actually happening. But almost as soon as the Supreme Court decision came down, stocking down those emergency tariff powers, the mainstream press was saying, well, how are we going to be able to handle all the refunds? That's never been mentioned in any legal brief or legal finding in the process, but the assumption on the part of somebody, and it managed to get the ball rolling in the public domain, that somehow we're going to be able to have to refund all that tariff money. And it merits note, the Supreme Court did not say anything about that in their Friday opinion. But I got to believe that there's going to be a few of the big ones. Maybe I'm looking at
Already
you,
happened.
Amazon.
Already happened. Already happened.
I figured.
FedEx,
Which one?
FedEx was the first one to the door, and they filed a lawsuit yesterday. So
I was figuring Amazon to be the first one, but FedEx doesn't surprise me much either, does it?
No, it doesn't. So we're going to find out what's going to happen and how that's going to work, and if it's going to work. And that one may end up at the Supreme Court level too.
It could very well. Like I said, it wasn't actually mentioned in the Supreme Court. There's nothing binding legal on this thing, but I was expecting lawsuits, and I didn't hear about FedEx already.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens and how that progresses. And I would not expect the U.S. government to write a check anytime soon.
No, we can keep things going in court for decades if we absolutely need to. Oh, if you're running out of things to worry about. Jamie Dimon last year said that after a few bankruptcies, he said, quote unquote, when you see one cockroach, there's probably more. And now people are worried about the private credit industry. Just what we need. One more thing to worry about, the possibility of bank failures.
Well, we did. And we had one of the big groups that specialize in that. I think it's called Blue Owl or something like that. They got downgraded yesterday. They had some cash calls, meaning they had to go to the market and liquidate because people wanted their money. And that obviously is never a good thing.
Not one tiny little bit. And we learned something really valuable back in '09. One company going toes up can end up giving you a chain of dominoes that nobody wants to see, right?
Exactly. So, that's we got to be careful there what happens. And on another tidbit, Meta is going to give AMD some $100 million plus of business buying their chip. So they've inked a deal actually with them to buy their AI chip. So we'll see how that works. I know they had some kind of deal working with NVIDIA for their graphics processor. And I'm not sure if that deal is getting thrown away or if they're just using both. The article wasn't real clear.
It probably explains why the picture of Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, the picture I've got, he's scowling a little bit.
Yeah, but NVIDIA, Advanced Micro Device, AMD, they're up almost 10.25% this morning.
Kind of going to make the NVIDIA report tomorrow afternoon look really interesting because they're pretty much the last one of the glamour tech companies due to report, and they, I think, report after the close tomorrow evening. Do I remember correctly?
I haven't seen that come across my ticker anywhere yet.
Yeah, I think they're due to report, I know, tomorrow. I just don't know whether it's before the market, after the market, or during the market. But the guidance ought to be kind of interesting after losing a big gob of money to AMD. Talking about reports from companies that are reporting we know about, one of the big two in the home improvement business reported. How did Home Depot do last quarter?
Home Depot did well when it comes to earnings. They beat on earnings. However, their revenue was just slightly above expectations. At least it was above. Earnings were really good, though. So they were moving up this morning about 2.8%. However, they did say that one of the issues they're seeing is, home ownership is not turning over as fast as it was. And that means people aren't fixing up, remodeling. You buy a new home, you always have to do something, right? You have to paint, you have to do something. Well, they're not seeing that. That's slowing down in their revenue stream. So their guidance was a little like, hey, look, we're slowing down. Things are slowing down, and we don't expect our revenue to be quite this high next quarter.
What'd that do to their futures?
It still has them up this morning, like 2.8% right now.
Oh, phew. I'm heaving a sigh of relief. And the other bookend in that business is going to be Lowe's, and we hear from them tomorrow. And then we'll have a pretty good picture of the do-it-yourselfer line, won't we?
We will. We will. Now, Whirlpool, talking about home improvements, right? Whirlpool,
Mm-hmm.
the appliance manufacturer, they did not really come out with any earnings. However, they did make an announcement that they are going to issue $800 million in additional common stock. And so that's beating them up quite a bit with dilution. They're down almost 12% this morning.
I'd call that optimism on their part, though, if they're seeing this as a good time for a capital sale, doesn't it?
Yeah, really, exactly.
Hey, we can afford to tank a little bit. Everybody else is. What the hey? Let's do it right now, right?
Yeah. So, hey, on the other side, I got two energy companies.
Mm-hmm.
Diamondback Energy, a big firm in Texas, oil and gas company. They missed on their earnings substantially. I mean, they came in at $1.74 instead of 2.08 that was expected, and so that has Diamondback trading down about 1.33%. Now, another one I have that I've never really heard of is Onuk. I probably didn't say that right, but they're based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they're a oil and gas, what they call a midstream operator.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. They missed on earnings. They gave weaker than expected guidance. They're down about 1.5% this morning.
The term midstream sounds like a pipeline company just putting two and two together, although I haven't heard of them either, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was looking to see if there's any other household names. Really, not any other ones that have reported this morning.
Alrighty. Oh, just while we're talking household names, just another tidbit I just came across while I was filtering through my pile of stuff. Amazon announced that they're building a $12 billion data center in Louisiana. They're doing it with NVIDIA. It may save NVIDIA's report tomorrow, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, well, good for Louisiana. They're going to get some tax revenue out of that deal.
I'll take it happily. Resetting the table for the morning. It was a bloodbath on the major indexes yesterday. Like we were talking, basically a perfect storm of negative influences all in one day. 45 minutes before we open this morning, what are we looking at?
I got some green ink this morning, and I hope it opens green and stays green the rest of the day. It'd be a nice way to end on a Tuesday. So we got the Dow up 0.3% right now. The S&P 500 is up, not quite 0.2. And then NASDAQ 100 up a little over 0.4%. Russell 2000 about 0.25% up. On the other side, silver, it's trying to get back up to 90 again. It's 86.70. That's up about 0.25%. Gold's down this morning, almost 1.5%. Crude oil, Dave, it's trying to climb back up to 70. It's up 0.8 to $66.88 a barrel right now.
Woo-hoo. with all the military prep going on near Iran, and the fact that it's been colder than crud up in the Bakken oil fields for the oil shale business, I'm not shocked. I just don't like it. Excuse me. I had to cough for a second. Looking across the ponds, the Asian Rim, finally the Chinese markets are open again after Lunar New Year. And after taking it on the chin before they closed for a week, they recovered up nicely. We're up by like 1% of the close in the mainland Chinese markets. That got most of the other Asian Rim markets optimistic. We were in green ink at the close this morning. European markets were looking at our bloodbath yesterday and kind of shrugging. I mean, German markets are off a little bit this morning. Italian markets are off a little bit. Everybody else is green over in the European community, and the average index is up by about 0.2% halfway through their trading day. Getting my retirement together so I've got an idea what I can count on kind of makes yesterday a poster child for getting the risk out of my portfolio. How do I find you for advice on doing that?
Absolutely, Dave. They can give us a call at 863-382-0037 to talk to us, see what's happening in their portfolio, and making sure that what they have is going to work the way they expect it to. I think you also check out our website at statlerfinancial.com, and then check out the Statler Financial Radio Show this weekend, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m., 95.3 FM.
And newstalk730am.com. I have it written down so I don't forget either. Have a good day, my friend. I'll catch you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Thank you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Philip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. Hope you picked up a little piece here or there. Join us again tomorrow. Until then, have a great day. Bye now.